Good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Mia Tuan, and as Dean of UW's College of Education, I am so delighted to welcome you to tonight's event. I have a group of 8 very nervous but very excited people waiting to tell you important stories that matter to their hearts. And we have some requests to ask of you, but I'll actually hold off on that until I do a few other things. Let's turn now to a land acknowledgement. Okay? So we are on the traditional lands of the Coast Salish people, which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. And we honor with gratitude both the land and our ongoing commitments to its people. As an immigrant to this country, I've been on my own journey to understand the rich history of the Native people who have been here since time immemorial, as well as the violence that has been brought upon them by settlers. And as Dean, I have been very thankful for the college's Indigenous Education Advisory Board that serves as an advisor to me and to other leadership in the college to ensure that the programs that we pursue and the initiatives that we launch are responsive to and tend to the justness and the thriving of Native people. All right, so welcome to EduTalks. My job today is to set the scene for you and to share that about 8 years ago, we launched something called EduTalks. And the inspiration for it was TED Talks. I had just stepped in as dean, and I had the luxury of meeting with my faculty for the first time, and I was struck by how many stories, the deep, personal, passionate stories that every single person had about why they do the work that they do. And so this idea of we've got to find some way to show off these stories and to do it in a way that maybe is not academic in the sense of an academic talk, but that is more conversational and shorter. So thus was born this idea of, well, what if we had our own purple rug as opposed to a red rug, and that we asked faculty to come, well, faculty as well as partners, to come and talk for 5 minutes. That's the goal, a 5-minute talk with one slide as the backdrop to set the story for their talk. Okay? So that's the challenge that we asked our 8 presenters to accomplish tonight. They're nervous, so they might not hit it exactly right, but the goal is 5 minutes and then that one slide. The theme, tonight's theme, if I could go back to that, is thriving generations, okay? Which it's not lost on any of us that at this particular historic moment in time, it's an absolutely aspirational thing to be striving for. We are not thriving at this moment as a country or as a nation or as a world, okay? But as educators, as community activists, as dreamers, it's our job to try to hold on to this vision of hope about what could possibly be. And so that's what you're going to hear tonight. Eight people talking about the things that give them hope about a thriving future and thriving generations. Okay? So I've got 3 requests, as I was saying before. The first is please be kind. These are not professional storytellers. They're storytellers maybe in their classrooms or in their activism or in their community work, but standing in front of you all with house lights, it's a little intimidating. So please be kind to them as they come out here and just wish them well, okay? The second request is that you hold your applause until the end of each presenter, okay? Otherwise you'll be doing a lot of clapping because 5 minutes goes fast. And then the third and easy request, if you could go to the next slide, is to join us for the reception afterwards. This is all going to be done in like 45 minutes, okay? And in fact, this is just to set the scene for what happens across the street, which is food, mingling, and the best gift that you can give our presenters is to go up to them and say, oh my God, I loved your talk. What you said about your daughter, oh my God, right? That's how they know they've touched you, and that what they've said has reached you, has mattered to you, okay? So the request is to think about, as you hear everybody's talks, which ones really resonate, which ones are sticky, and that those are the ones that during the reception you go up to and say, I loved your talk, and I'd love to hear more, okay? So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get the show started with our first speaker, okay? Thank you for joining us.